I was standing on the corner of 68th Street and Lexington Avenue right here in Manhattan once, and I approached a woman, and very elegant, and I asked her to look across the street and tell me if there was a drugstore on the corner. She said, "I'd be delighted," and then took me by my arm and led me across the street to the drugstore. She was kind of surprised when I went back and stood on the corner, and she came back and asked me why I wasn't going in the drugstore. And I said, a friend of mine told me that his office is located at 68th Street and Lexington Avenue across the street from the drugstore. This woman was aghast, but I thanked her for taking her time out to help me and told her, "It doesn't really matter. I applaud your service." So thank you very much. Oh, some of you know her. Thank you very much, President Bollinger, for that very kind introduction. I wish you were president when I was at Columbia. Maybe I would have gotten out sooner. To all those who are national chairs of ServiceNation, those of you in the public and private sector who have taken your time and given it to this great cause, I want to thank you. To Senator Barack Obama, Senator John McCain, Senator Hillary Clinton, Mayor Michael Bloomberg, Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger, and the First Lady Laura Bush, among the leaders who will be speaking tonight, I want to thank them for taking their time out to be here at Columbia at this great event. I am honored to have been invited to have attended the ServiceNation event, and I want to welcome all of you to New York. We are very pleased to have you here and want to enhance the service of ServiceNation in any way we can. The 33rd governor of the state of New York once said that he felt that the welfare of each of us is dependent fundamentally on the welfare of all of us. That was President Teddy Roosevelt. Years later, his fifth cousin, another relatively obscure governor of New York named Franklin, offered us that human kindness does not in any way weaken the stamina or soften the fabric of a free people. These two men were not bonded by politics. One was a Republican, the other a Democrat. They were bonded slightly by blood, but they are linked inextricably because of their service to human dignity. One does not have to be a president to provide service. It's just that the Roosevelts were two links on a long chain of citizen service that Americans have demonstrated since 12,000 men answered the call of the revolution and offered their service against attacks by the British and would be available within a minute. Years later, up to last year, that has been stretched to the point that 61 million Americans offered 8 billion hours of service in this country. They would help struggling students. They would deliver meals to seniors. They would help those in poverty, among other tasks. Indeed, 26 Americans took time out from their deliberations to offer service last year, 23 million more than did so 20 years ago. Right here in New York, 3 million people offered 366 million hours of service. And so this is a call that has been heeded in this country and one we badly need, because unfortunately 3/4 of our society feel that our country is going in the wrong direction. Perhaps they feel this way because just this year, 772,000 Americans have lost their jobs. Since last summer, 1 million Americans have lost their homes. And so now is the time for us to step up with our service more than ever. That is why today I am elevating the director of our Office for National and Community Service right here in New York State. I am elevating that office to a cabinet position in my administration. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I thought you would like that. But now we come to a point where service cannot just be a temporary plan, but a lifelong commitment. And we're going to be needing a president that believes in this type of service. And we are certainly fortunate in this country that both of the candidates, major candidates for president this year, have performed outstanding service to our communities. From Barack Obama, who eschewed personal opportunity and lucrative offers to work in service organizations in the city of Chicago, Illinois, to John McCain, who almost had to perform the ultimate service when he found himself lingering on life in a prisoner of war camp in North Vietnam during his service to the military of the United States. Both of these men aptly follow in the footsteps of the Roosevelts. One of them will be called upon by us to lead this nation, and I hope that they will find a commitment to service, perhaps funding the Corporation for National and Community Service and signing legislation that would add service as part of our American tradition. Finally, I would add that today is probably the 7th anniversary of the greatest collective service this country has ever seen, when we were attacked by terrorists on September 11th, 2001, and people ran into buildings, firefighters, EMS workers, police officers, and private citizens to rescue people they didn't know or never met. When those who survived were asked about it, they said that they just didn't think about their ambition. They didn't think about their families. They didn't think about their other obligations. They just knew that they had to help someone. Pope Gregory I, known as St. Gregory the Great, always admonished Christians to love their neighbors as they would love themselves. But he said that there are moments of epiphany where a person will feel a bond with one whom they've never met. Pierre Abelard, writing in the 12th century, added to that by saying there are moments of feelings of identical image in which individuals, because of an intervening crisis, start to see others as being part of them. And so I'm hoping that perhaps that Christian adage will take on a new meaning in the 21st century as more of us are involved in service, as we come closer to that oneness of the human spirit, and we actually re-amplify the idea of helping our neighbors as we would help ourselves, to helping our neighbors because they are ourselves. Thank you very much.